Well, I mean, now what are we supposed to do? They just like completely start over. But now the show's.
Today's stories include Spider-Man 2 is experiencing PC problems, PlayStation is going after Bloodborne 60 FPS, and MultiVersus is getting delisted. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, January 31st, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is The Force, Gary Whitta.
Are we just going to pretend like this is our first time doing it and nothing happened?
Nothing happened, Gary.
Nothing happened. All I'll say is, Kevin.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You cannot expect to give your full attention to the stream and have those kind of tabs open at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think your mental constitution is. You are going to get distracted.
With our capture card all week, and like now I have you attacking me.
You're capturing something over there.
God.
some things I can't talk
about. Do your
about.
job. Just do your job, all right? We're running late.
Keep that shit at home, Kevin. I mean, it's not that difficult. Just
and
do it on your own time. I don't mind what you're into. I just don't want it, coming into my place of work, my place of business.
It's crazy that you're doing that on a browser that's sharing the tabs as your work.
At least
stuff
put
too.
it in incognito.
Yeah, you got to put it in incognito.
Jesus Christ,
it's kind of wild
stuff, Kevin.
And you're still out here just adjusting things.
I gotta fix stuff.
Let's get into the show. Remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about, live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube, and now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show.
Just laughing at all the step bro jokes in chat. They're loving it.
Oh, man.
They
Let me tell you,
get it. They know what
being a live viewer
They
today,
know what Kevin's been busted for.
Today, if you weren't a live viewer, you missed out.
My favorite was the one that was like, what if Roger checks the history? He's impressionable.
Step bro, I'm stuck in OBS.
Also, if you're wondering why Gary's here, there was a whole story that was told to the live audience, but hey,
I showed up early, and let's do the nice version.
Yeah.
Where you and I can do our grievances off camera. Mm-hmm. I showed up early, so you shuffled me onto Games Daily. So here I am.
I love that you're lying for me. Gary showed up early, right? And there was a whole hubbub. Kevin and Mike were freaking out.
We don't have time for this anymore.
Kevin and Mike were freaking out.
No, we still have to. People expect this. You have to do
because I gotta explain
the small talk.
Why is Gary on Games Daily?
Yeah, why am
when
I
the
here?
schedule said Mike? Of course, we always explain it every single time.
I thought I was supposed
changes?
to. I'm here for 2 shows today. I'm here for the Xcast reunion.
Yep.
And then I'm doing a part of Game Showdown after that.
Yep.
But I got my times mixed up. Fair enough. I went back on it, and Greg did say an hour later. I got here early. So then Mike said, well, why don't you just come on Games Daily with me and Bless? You're only going to be sitting around. And then you kiboshed it. You were like, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, it's like I'm not in the mood.
Yeah,
that's what I said. I was like, I don't know. I don't know
you
if I'm
don't
feeling
trust
Gary.
me to be able to just get on with it and do. You think I'm going to go off on tangents?
The real reason is that it's a jam-packed news day or it's a jam-packed news day and a jam-packed content day for us.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to keep the train on track. I'm trying to make sure that we get out of here in a timely fashion. And it's not just you. It is Mike and it is me. Right? Like the 3 of us on one show on a jam-packed news day, we're going to go for 2 hours. And I couldn't allow that. But I'm glad it's me and you, one-on-one. I get to hang out with Gary. People love this.
You're the enemy of fun. You're like the dean in one of those college movies. He's like coming and saying, you guys are all, you must not have fun.
Have you seen Community?
No.
Because I feel like that's my favorite Dean. I want to be Dean from Community. Because every episode he comes in with some shenanigans. You never know what he's going to be wearing.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm coming in with shenanigans, but then you are telling me not to shenanan.
You know what? You're right. I apologize, Gary.
It's fine. Look, I don't want you to get in trouble with your superiors or have this show up on your next performance review, because I know how seriously we take this.
It's fair.
We talk about video games for a living. And that is
gotta take
something
that shit
that must be
seriously.
taken with the utmost
We
seriousness.
gotta take that seriously.
Even on a network called Kinda Funny.
For a chance to be a part of the show.
I'm trying to make it kind of funny. I didn't realize it was kind of on time, kind of punctual. Sorry.
Listen,
Fuck me, I guess.
There's an era of kind of funny right now where people have kids, they have families, they have partners to get home to. Some of them have little puppies.
I've got 2 kids.
Has puppies. You know, if this show goes long, that means GamesCast gets going late. That means Game Showdown goes late. That means the stream starts late, and they're playing Jedi Power Battles until the end. They have to beat Jedi Power Battles in this office. If Tim gets sent home at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., guess what? His puppies are at home lonely. They're cold, shivering.
I mean, at some point, I would just stop playing Jedi Power Battles and go feed my dogs.
Yeah, but they promised they'd beat it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
okay.
For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. So today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you're going to get GamesCast, which is the Xcast reunion episode predicting the rest of the Xbox life cycle. After that is Game Showdown with a special guest, and that special guest, of course, is Gary Whitta. You'll see more about that later. And then grab your Jedi robes and lightsabers one more time, because today, Andy and Tim will try to beat Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles on stream. With your help, we'll make them suffer through this unforgettable experience. Also, word around the cantina is that fan favorite Kylo Ren will be there with Star Wars karaoke, and Jabba the prize Hutt will have anniversary stream giveaways throughout, so don't miss it.
That seems like a special treat for any Star Wars fan.
It's important. It's the most important piece of content today.
Why is Jedi Power Battles back in the frame? Did they remaster it or something?
Yeah, I think
it's back?
I think they re-released it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being a game that had enough fondness around it where they were like, oh yeah, we should
You know
redo
what?
that one.
Same. I was confused yesterday when they were talking about this, and I was like, Tim, are you a big Jedi Power Battles person? And believe it or not, one of Tim's favorite games of all time, Jedi Power Battles.
There were so many games that came out of that prequel era, because I remember, because I was editor of PC Gamer at the time, I remember there was like so many. There was an Episode 1 official game.
Did you play Star Wars Demolition?
I played a bunch of them. I don't remember, because there were so many, but I only remember there being like one banger that came out of the prequel era, and that was the pod racing game. That was fucking great.
The pod racing game was so good.
Racer is so good, man.
Star Wars Racer is
We used to have,
top 3 Star Wars
cash
game.
money races in the PC Gamer office.
Cash money.
Yeah, we used to race for like real doubloons.
Man, you and Mike, I'm learning a lot about you and Mike and how you guys would do a lot of games betting. Because me and Mike did a episode of GamesCast where we went down like a list of sports games, and I swear to God, every other game, Mike would have a story about how he bet money with somebody on who could win.
Gambling is there's a lot of conversation about this in the gaming space right now because of stake.com and Twitch streamers and Kick streamers are
Gary,
doing
can you move
gambling
your
streams
mic
and stuff.
over?
To where? Like
Yeah, a little
there?
bit to your right, further, a little further,
like there?
a little further.
There?
Yeah, because you're
That's completely off center for me. Oh, because I'm doing this.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
no,
Look at that. Oh, look how I nailed you. Look at that.
That's good. You finally got
I
something
like
right.
to angle mine like this sometimes.
I was thinking, because I love to gamble. I love to go to Vegas. I have a very addictive personality when it comes to gambling. I've taken some big losses over the years.
I didn't know
man,
this
let me
about
tell
you.
Oh my God. Ask me another time about the time I lost $144,000 on one hand of Caribbean stud poker
No
in Las
way.
Vegas. Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that amount of money in my life.
Well, neither have I.
Nuts.
Because I fucking went.
Or do you have people hunting you right now? Like,
No. It's all good. There's a couple of casinos I'm not welcome in, but for the most part I'm fine. Just have to stay at the bottom end of the strip. It's a serious thing. I actually went on stake.com the other day because one of my like
this is not sponsored, by the way, everybody. We're not sponsored by Stake.
anti-sponsored. But I watch, some of these guys. I like watching degenerate gamblers lose all their money online.
Yeah.
And I thought, let me go to. I typed it in stake.com. I thought, I could probably
what's
do
up
well
with
here. And I was going to see myself gazing into the abyss.
Oh God.
Fortunately, the abyss gazed back at me and said,
Don't even try it. That's
but
scary.
no, it's a dangerous demon, the gambling demon.
Have you ever bet on sports?
Oh yeah.
Like, is it usually soccer or
In the UK, where you just walk into a place on the high street and gamble, I used to, yeah. And then when I'm in Vegas, I always go. I like going to the sports book. Sometimes it's nice to sit in the sports book, where they have all the massive screens, like being in Mission Control.
Yeah.
Have a couple of bets.
So at some point, off content, right after hours of Kind of Funny, I want to talk to you because I want to maybe get some Kind of Funny bets going. Right? Who's gonna win the season of Game Showdown? Who's gonna beat?
You know what you should do?
Dark
You should
Souls
have me
first?
be your official odds maker. I could be the official boookmaker of Kind of Funny.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Some like black market game showdown betting.
yeah.
Let's me and you talk after this.
I've even got. I even know a guy that will come and have
this
a
sounds
conversation
very
with your
risky.
kneecaps if you don't pay up.
Oh, I can be that guy for you.
No, trust me, you want my guy.
If you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Gregway. And of course, thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today we're brought to you by Built Rewards and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Baker's dozen!
Starting with our number 1. Spider-Man 2 debuts to mixed Steam reviews amid serious PC performance problems.
Why does this happen every time with these PC ports from PlayStation?
We're going to talk about it. This comes from Syed Ahmed at IGN. Spider-Man 2 on PC was shaping up to be surprisingly performant once its system requirements were revealed. However, the Nixxes-developed port has debuted to a mixed Steam user review rating, with many players complaining about technical issues. Currently, 55% of Spider-Man 2 Steam reviews are positive. Quote, despite having a high-end GPU and running the latest NVIDIA drivers, 5.66.36, the game frequently crashes, said one RTX 4090 user. Another read, quote, the game is completely unplayable on PC. The game crashes to desktop every 5 minutes. I've already requested a refund, end quote. Quote, hold off on buying until they get a couple of stabilization patches out because holy hell, one reviewer added. To say this is rough is an understatement. Lighting doesn't load in some cutscenes. Those same scenes run at seconds per frame. Audio desync issues up the wazoo. Freezing, stuttering, and just about every other performance issue I can think of. I'm going to get a refund for now because frankly, there's other stuff I could use $70 for right now, end quote. The main issue appears to be that the game's graphics controller crashes frequently, even with users on higher-end PCs. According to one reviewer, the error reads, quote, a problem has occurred with your display driver. This can be caused by out-of-date drivers, using game settings higher than your GPU can handle, an overheating GPU, or an error with the game. Please try updating your graphics drivers or lowering your in-game settings, end quote. That's where I'm going to pause on the article. I did get an email this morning, and it's funny because I got the email before I even saw these issues. It was an email I received from PlayStation that says, a new hotfix, version 1.31, is now live on Marvel Spider-Man 2 on PC. This hotfix addresses some of the device hang crashes that could occur while playing the game with ray tracing enabled. Our teams are actively investigating and working on additional patches to further improve stability and address bugs as soon as possible. And so, to sum this up, Spider-Man 2 on PC, not having a good time in terms of performance. It seems like PlayStation knows, though, and they're trying to fix it.
Yeah, but why didn't they know before they shipped it?
And that is the question. Right? Like, you're right that this seems to be a trend with PlayStation games being ported
Last
to
of
PC.
Us, remember, was all kinds of janky out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like messed up Ubisoft levels of jank. Isn't it weird that I can say, like, when I want to, like, shorthand serious jank, I just say Ubisoft.
Just say Ubisoft, yeah.
Everyone goes, oh, well, that bad?
They were like, damn.
Yeah, that was a mess. Horizon was a mess at launch, as I recall. They eventually do get there.
Yeah.
Right? They fix them with patches.
Are you somebody who do you check out these games on PC?
No, because if that's the game I want to play, I would have played it on PlayStation. Like Spider-Man, I played on PlayStation when it first came out.
And I'm with you. I'm like that.
But for people that don't have a PlayStation, they're waiting for this PC version. This is why I always say it's folly to buy games at launch, because they're never ready anymore, right? There's always hot fixes and things, and sometimes they're in really bad shape. And I get it with PC. PC's trickier than consoles. I get it, because, with Xbox, there's 2 SKUs you're shipping for, and they're locked down, you know what they are. With PlayStation, there's 2 SKUs you're shipping for, you're locked down, you know what they are. With PC, infinite diversity and infinite variations, right? Like no 2 PCs are exactly the same, right? Everyone's got their different motherboard, GPU, RAM, whatever software they've got running in the background. It's like you can't catch every configuration. But it sounds like when the problems are this widespread, it sounds like something that should have been caught in testing.
That's the thing that I don't understand. Is I understand the argument of there's so many PC SKUs, like you can't account for everything, right? And like at launch, you're going to have these issues. The thing that I don't understand is how this keeps happening every time. And it's not like it is a 0.01% of users are having these issues.
No, you see, it's clearly widespread.
It's clearly widespread.
There's only 2 explanations. Either they didn't catch it in testing, in which case their testing is broken and needs to be fixed, or they caught it and said, well, we'll ship it anyway. I don't think that's any more acceptable.
But my question is why? Like, your PlayStation, it's not like It's not like, oh, we need to ship this now,
Well,
or else
and
everything's going to go to
it's a PC
shit.
port of Spider-Man in January.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we got to hit that
It's
holiday
like, delay
window.
it to
Our
March.
shareholders will freak out if we don't ship it this quarter. Like, if you know it's got serious issues, hold it a little bit.
Do you think
It feels like we have this conversation so often.
I mean, it does, and I wonder if this comes back to like your thing of testing being broken, right? Of like, do you think that they truly just don't have access to those different configurations? Do you think it's a thing of, hey, like Nixus or whoever, right, is like, we're making this port, but we just don't have the facilities to be able to test across the wide margin, even though like many third-party games come out on PC and tend to work fine?
I don't think it's. I mean, Sony is a company with major resources, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's a third-party developer doing it, you would think that Sony would have their own in-house. Maybe they do. They have their own in-house testing where they say, look, this is going out with our name on it. We're going to look at it as well. I'm just going to take your word for it that it's ready to ship. But I know something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
So and again, this is at least the third time that it's happened. Because Last of Us and Horizon, I think both shipped with similar stories and needed, and yeah, it'll get fixed. It'll get there. But like, why should we have to go do that first? Get it there, then ship it.
Yeah.
And I get the impression that I don't know, PC is just not a huge priority for Sony.
It's funny because
it does feel like a bit of an afterthought when they do these ports.
I do think that it is a priority though, right? Because like they have not made the commitment, but they've consistently now ported their biggest games to PC, and it seems like that is doing very well for them, especially coming out off of Helldivers 2 last year, where Helldivers 2 was the fastest selling PlayStation game of all time.
Yeah, and half of it's on PC.
Yeah.
Like it's roughly half of PlayStation, of Helldivers games was sold to PC users. So it should be as much of a priority.
Yeah.
Right?
And for me, it feels like growing pains of, oh, we're still trying to figure out this PC stuff, but it shouldn't be growing pains anymore. At some point, you grow.
I think,
At some point, you are grown.
I think they look at it as, look, we might as well, PC's not a competing platform. We don't want our games on Xbox. But we'll put it on PC. We'll make it with extra money. The game already exists. You just need to port it. Like, it's just, I just think they think, whatever. Like, but it doesn't seem like it's clearly not something they've prioritized assets towards in terms of testing and QA. Otherwise, the game wouldn't be shipping in this state. For a major company, Sony is one of the biggest, consumer electronics companies in the world, and arguably the biggest gaming brand in the world right now, PlayStation. And this is Spider-Man. This is not like, some little game. For it to ship, let me ask you this: if this had shipped on PlayStation in this state, how much outrage do you think you'd be seeing right now?
Oh my God!
Right?
It would be a disaster.
Right?
It would be a huge disaster.
Yeah.
Let's keep on the PlayStation topic with story number 2. Bloodborne 60 FPS mod targeted by Sony DMCA takedown. This is Ian Walker at Polygon. All the way back in 2021, a prolific modder and researcher from software games named Lance McDonald released his magnum opus, a 60 FPS mod for Bloodborne. Now, almost 4 years later, Sony has made the unfortunate decision to issue a DMCA takedown, forcing McDonald to stop publicly providing access to the patch files. Quote, on February 21st, 2021, I created and released a patch for Bloodborne, which makes the game run at 60 FPS, McDonald said on X. On January 31st. Quote, today, I received a DMCA takedown notification on behalf of Sony Interactive Entertainment asking that I remove links to the patch I posted on the internet. So, I've now done so, end quote. Gary, have you been following the Bloodborne 60 FPS stuff? This was a point of conversation for Kind of Funny last year because the one and only Andy Cortez, who is Bloodborne obsessed, bought a PS4, modded it, so he could play Bloodborne at 60 FPS through this patch.
I think it's amazing that that's something they were even able to do. Usually console games are pretty locked down where you can't do that kind of hacking, right? But this guy figured out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
So how do you feel about PlayStation going after this patch?
I mean, I kind of get it. They're completely within their rights to do it. But at the same time, it's not a good look for them either way. It's like, you guys can't get it running 60 frames a second, but this fucking dude can. The fucking guy with the hot pockets, he can figure it out. That's not a good look, and it's not a good look taking it down because obviously it's something that unless it's something not deliberately malicious, but something that could be like if it's going to wreck the game or this it's obviously not been through their approval process. So I understand legally they can't have it out there. I get it, but ship your own patch now, right? That would be the next move. Is like clearly it's shown that it can be done. You've now, again, within your rights, taking it away from players. Feel like the least you could do is ship your own version of it.
Yeah.
Like, copy this guy's homework and put an official version out.
I do want to correct myself. I believe it was on PS5 is where you can play 60 FPS with the modded PS5, not with PS4. And to your thing, of Gary, of ship a patch, I think the complicated thing comes back to a few weeks ago, Greg interviewed Shuhei Yoshida after Shu finished his time at PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they talked about was like Miyazaki being busy in that, and like, you know, them wanting to play well with Miyazaki.
Right,
the
and they
creator of
can't do
Bloodborne.
anything without him being like
Yeah.
hands-on with it.
And so to your point of ship a patch, right? For PlayStation, I don't think PlayStation can ship a patch because From Software is the developer of the game.
Right,
They would have to go to
right,
From Software to be like,
right.
hey, ship a patch for your game. And to that, Miyazaki's like, yo, I'm working on stuff.
Yeah, no, but he's not going to be the one doing the coding, right? Just say they should go to Miyazaki and say, look, we've got a team that can do this. You know, you'll see it at the end and sign off on it. They'll have approvals, but like, you know, just let us get on with it and show it to you when it's done. Like, I don't know why it's so hard.
Yeah. I mean, this happening now, I think the timing is weird because the patch has been around for a second, right? The patch is not like this is a brand new 60 FPS patch.
Hire this guy, right?
I mean, maybe. Lance McDonald also, I think he's also... I don't know much about Lance McDonald, but he seems like he has stuff going on.
You know, like half of the 17-year-old computer hackers that they find end up working for the fucking NSA, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, we'd rather have you, as we say in England, we'd rather have you inside the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in. So they should hire this guy and let him piss out of their tent at Sony. It's a very big tent at Sony.
I mean, yeah.
Give him a job.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This happening now makes me wonder if there's movement happening with an official 60 FPS patch.
I mean, what,
or some kind of remaster, or some kind of remake.
If some guy, if it's been shown that it can be done, right? It is, I think, then kind of on you to do it. And Bloodborne is a very popular game, right? People would love this.
Oh, yeah.
It would breathe a new lease of life into the game.
This would be a slam dunk. My thing is, PlayStation knows it, Miyazaki knows it, From Software knows it, right? Like, Bloodborne is a special video game that I think over time, since 2015, has only grown more and more in popularity and like the cult following of it. People have been asking for this for years and years and years. I think all the needed parties involved know what they have in their hands in terms of how much a Bloodborne either patch or remaster or remake.
I was going to say, PS5 remaster is maybe like that's probably what they're holding out for.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to what is the bandwidth of parties involved, right? Like for a remake, cool. Bluepoint, they just got their project canceled, right? Like Bluepoint is looking for something to do. Oh man, it'd be really interesting right now if Bluepoint started work on a Bloodborne remake. I think that'd be such a slam dunk. Now, if PlayStation, Miyazaki, From Software are like, oh man, we can't find the agreements to do this. Okay, well, what about a remaster? Let's make this simple. Let's take maybe a Nixus or a Firewalk Studio.
A full remaster, though, sounds like something that would require even more Miyazaki's attention because he would definitely want to be all over that, I would think.
And that's where I come down on, okay, well, then we talk about a patch, and then it is more on From Software, I think, than PlayStation to put out a patch because that is their video game. And I think we're just in a weird loop of what do we do with Bloodborne in a way that makes sense and in the way that we all have bandwidth for. I think this happening right now might mean that possibly there could be some movement. At least maybe that might be my copium. That might be me just praying and hoping.
This definitely feels like, you know, something that's going to push them towards having to address it one way or another, right?
Yeah. And so fingers crossed that they do something with Bloodborne. Anything. Gary, we're going to move on to story number 3. But before we do, I want to tell you about patreon.com/kindoffunny and youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, where you can get the Kind of Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode's brought to you by Built. If you're a renter, I'd start taking advantage of Built if I were you. Here's the thing. We earn points on groceries, travel, and practically everything else we buy. But we should also be earning points on rent, one of our biggest monthly expenses. Built changed the game by letting renters earn high-value points on rent and around their neighborhood. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/kindafunny. That's joinbilt.com/kindafunny. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you there. Joinbuilt.com/kindafunny to start earning points on your rent payments today. This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled in. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp, and they love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And it serves over 5 million people worldwide. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
And we're back. And I'm going to bring in some super chats for you. Benny B. Good writes in and says, birthday tax. Kev, you and your porn are doing great. Tristan Leon writes in and says, don't let Kevin run the narrative.
Fuck you guys. Fuck all of you.
I saw what I saw, Kevin.
You didn't see shit.
I wish I hadn't seen it.
God, I hate you.
Daniel writes in and says, let Kevin enjoy his content. He put content in quotes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Skooma Dealer says, Bless and Old Greg is one of the best host combos. Apparently
What?
you're Old Greg.
I'm old Greg.
I think you're Old Greg.
How does that work?
Dexter Schwarzler writes in and says, don't talk video game news, just have an awesome chin wag. I don't know what a chin wag is.
Conversation, because your chin is going up and down.
Oh, I like that. Man, I love the words that y'all come up with over there.
We have some good ones.
Y'all be coming up with some good words
we
over
invented
there.
the English language, you know.
A chin wag.
Yeah.
Dingus McSwag writes in and says, bought the premium edition of Avowed. That Hypecast pushed me over the line. When can you review it? Love y'all. More Hypecasts, please. Great content. I can't tell you off by the top of my head or if I even know when we're going to review Avowed, but do look forward to a review coming at some point. I'm also hyped on Avowed. Epic Open World writes in and says, Alex from Digital Foundry skeeted 3 days ago asking where the review code was. They did not send code early. They knew it was broken. I believe that's them talking about Spider-Man 2 on PC.
Okay.
To which I'll say, I think usually PlayStation doesn't send code for PC games until like the day of. So I actually don't think that is abnormal.
Are we just going to, we're fully committed to Skeeted being the blue sky?
We're trying things out.
I don't understand why you might be a little bit wary around the word skeet
Jesus
right now, Kevin, but fucking
Christ,
hell.
Scary.
Yeah, Kevin, it seems like you're projecting.
All right, Blessing, you chill out.
I'm just saying.
You don't get the pass that Gary gets.
I call it like I see it.
All right.
I can call it like I skeet it. AK writes in and says, what do y'all think Miyazaki is working on right now? I mean...
Isn't he working on the online Elden Ring thing?
Oh, Elden Ring Night Rain?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on that. But, like, I'm sure he's involved.
What, so,
right?
like,
But
they can do an entire online Elden Ring spin-off without him, but they can't put Bloodborne in 60 frames?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, you're absolutely right. I would think that he's just working on a new, like, Souls-like, right? It could be Elden Ring 2.
Elden Ring 2?
Yeah.
Go back and do Demon Souls. You know, go all the way back.
Well, all Demons... I think PlayStation technically owns Demon Souls. So maybe you would have to go through...
What about Dark Souls? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Do Bloodborne 2. What is the
Bloodborne
most
2
exciting thing that Miyazaki could announce next? Other than, like, some unknown thing. Like if he were to go back to some Elden Ring 2,
exciting in a
Bloodborne
realistic
3,
way or exciting in the dream way?
I don't know. What's the difference? Like, is like...
Because I do think... Because here's the thing. Bloodborne 2 would be the most exciting thing.
It would, okay.
But I don't think they'll make Bloodborne 2 because I think at this point, From Software has a big enough audience to where they want to continue to be multi-platform, and I think Bloodborne 2 would have to be exclusive to PlayStation.
Okay, got it.
So I think realistically, the most exciting thing they could be doing is Elden Ring 2.
Right. Or something completely new.
Or something completely new. Yeah, I would love maybe a spiritual successor to Dark Souls or Bloodborne.
Well, I was going to say, clearly, I mean, Miyazaki clearly has no issue with sequels, right? Because Demon Souls and Dark Souls both had several sequels, right?
I think an Elden Ring 2 would be such a slam dunk. I've had conversations with people like on streams and stuff. I forget if there was a quote or something from Miyazaki saying that an Elden Ring 2 wouldn't happen, but it seems like a lot of people are convinced that an Elden Ring 2 won't happen. And to that, I say, it will. At some point, you are going to get Elden Ring 2. Elden Ring made too much money. Like
Elden Ring 2, I think, is what
it is a
the bean
slam
counters
dunk.
would want to say.
It's
right?
I think. Here's the thing, right? I view it in this exact same way as Shogun. Where Shogun on Hulu came out, season 1 came out, it was a fantastic show, and everybody kept saying, they're not going to make a Shogun season 2 though. They're not going to Shogun. It's a one and done. Like that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then guess what?
The commercial case for doing it was undeniable.
The commercial case for doing it was undeniable. I think it's the exact same thing with Elden Ring. The commercial case for Elden Ring 2 is too strong. It'll make too much money. You cannot not do Elden Ring 2.
Does that move someone like Miyazaki though? Do you think? Like Miyazaki seems very much like his own man, an auteur, an artist. He's primarily concerned with the creative integrity more than the money. That's my sense. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's my feeling. That he would just say, I don't care about that. I just want to do what I want to do. And I'm Miyazaki, so you can't tell me what to do.
I mean, I don't think it moves Miyazaki, but I think it moves the people above him, right? Like, they're still owned by Katakawa, right? Like, there are people investing in that company.
Right, but like, if they said to him, we really want you to do Elden Ring 2, and here's the financial case for it. Look at these numbers. He's like, yeah, that's great, but I just have no interest in it. I really don't want to do it. They're not going to say, well, fuck it, you're doing it.
I think they then look at him and say, all right, take part of your studio and have them work on Elden Ring 2, and you do whatever you want.
Right.
I think somebody's going to make Elden Ring 2, even if Miyazaki's not involved.
Yeah. No, I see that.
But then, yeah, to the question of what do we think Miyazaki's doing next?
Has this industry ever had a completely banger, multi-million seller, commercial slam dunk mega hit that didn't then spawn a sequel?
That's actually
a good question, right?
The only cases I can think of are things that are ongoing. So like World of Warcraft.
Right.
I don't know if there's ever
that's
a
not
World
meant
of
to
Warcraft
have
2.
a sequel necessarily. Yeah.
And so like I think a lot of them are like that, where it's Fortnite, right? I was gonna say Call of Duty, but Call of Duty has a sequel every single year. I guess you get what I mean though. Like those games are ongoing games usually. Like as long as it's making money, then you don't need a sequel.
Yeah.
But like if it's a single player, like Elden Ring is a single player, people are
there was always
going
to be a Spider-Man 2. There was always going to be a Halo 2. There was always going to be a God of War 2. Right? Those games don't. They can't be allowed to just once you've found some success and you've created a hit and a brand that people know.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you could argue it's financially, commercially negligent to not continue to pursue that, right?
People are saying Minecraft.
But again, Minecraft's an ongoing game.
Yeah, I view Minecraft as an ongoing thing. And guess what?
A standalone game.
And they keep making Minecraft spin-offs. Like Dungeons was Legends one.
Legends was another one.
They made a Telltale story mode game.
And they're constantly adding stuff to it all the time.
And like Elden Ring, like we already have an Elden Ring spin-off, right? Like we're already getting Elden Ring Night Rain.
There's already been a massive DLC, which is
DLC,
essentially a sequel. Now this, they're already exploiting the fuck out of it.
Yeah, and I don't think we're done with Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring Night Rain is not going to be the last time you see Elden Ring.
It's like having a metal detector, right? And there's treasure buried under the sand, right? And you're going beep, 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 and then suddenly beep, and it's like, oh shit, you fucking dig. You know what I mean? Like when you hit pay dirt, when you strike gold, you don't move on. Oh, let's see if we can find gold somewhere else. No, it's fucking gold here. Dig, dig, dig. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get all these different iterations of the game.
Yeah. It's fun seeing chat name things, right? Because somebody says Bloodborne. To which to that, I'd say Bloodborne's numbers aren't Elden Ring's numbers.
There is a Tetris too. Days Gone, I would argue, wasn't a big enough hit to justify a sequel, even though it's one of those games that's gone on to be more well liked over time.
Yeah,
I don't think that's increased the commercial case for it.
And here's the thing:
there probably won't be a Baldur's Gate 4, but again, it's too early to say. Nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, like I think there will be a Baldur's Gate 4. It's not going to be from Larian Studios, but somebody's going to make a Baldur's Gate 4. Like, that's the thing is this stuff. Somebody in chat said it's not all money, man. I regret to inform you it is. Like, it might not 100% be money, but it is mostly money. Like
Right.
at least 70% of it is money. Like money drives business. This is a business. Like I don't know what to tell you, but yes, like it is driven by money.
It's like Nintendo with the Switch 2. When they announced the Switch 2, people are like, oh, Nintendo's lost it. Why is it just the Switch 2? Why haven't they reinvented the wheel again? You know? And it's like, they reinvented the wheel every single time, right? The fucking N64, and then the GameCube, and then the Wii and the Wii U. Every time it was like, here's something a bit different, right? This is not just the next version of the previous console. And they had, arguably middling success with that, right? The GameCube was kind of a, good games, but it wasn't a massive hit for them. Wii obviously sold a lot of copies, but by the end of its life cycle was considered kind of like a dead console, right? Like that the whole Wiimote thing, nobody really got into that. It was a mess. Wii U obviously was kind of a mess as well because they tried to reinvent it again. And now they find the Switch 2, this form factor that everybody loves, and like let's do more of that.
Let's make more of that.
We just iterate? We finally struck like the formula that people really, really like. And it remains different than anything else on the market, right? There isn't anything else like a Switch on the market, unless you go into like PC handhelds and stuff. And so, yeah, of course they're gonna iterate on that.
Yeah, I saw somebody in chat brought up like Half-Life 2, right, and Portal 2, and like
Well,
those
Valve
games
is Valve. Valve never. Valve is in a unique position. They never have to ship a game.
And that's the thing is,
ever.
and this is back to the money conversation of the reason why the reason why we've not gotten the Half-Life 3 or the Portal 3, and the reason like all that stuff stopped during that era is because Valve found something that was making them more money.
Yeah.
Like they found a bigger piece of gold.
And Valve
that
is
they
one of
wouldn't mind
is
for.
one of the few companies left that still has a blue chip. When I in the 90s was on PC Gamer, it was like Blizzard, Valve, Westwood Studios. In terms of like some of those brands don't even exist anymore. Blizzard obviously fell off badly. Valve is one of the few companies left. They're like, oh yeah, everything's just Valve, right? They're Valve. They're the best. And so you don't mess. They're not going to Valve is never going to ship a game that they think is like not Valve worthy. Of course, Half-Life 3 has been in development at Valve for fucking years. You're foolish if you don't think it has been. And I suspect that they've got to many points where they've had something, that's coming together like, no, back to square one, or, this isn't working. Like, they're not going to ship Half-Life 3 or anything until they're like, yeah, banger.
Yeah.
And so, and
We're
like
gonna
you
get
said, do they
Half-Life
make so
3.
much money on Steam? There's no pressure to do it. So Valve is a unique situation.
Yeah. Let's move on to story number 3. MultiVersus' 5th season will be its last, with the game being delisted at the end of May. This is Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. The upcoming 5th season of MultiVersus will be its last, the game developer has confirmed. Quote, after careful consideration, our next season will serve as the final seasonal content update for the game, a statement on the game's blog reads. Season 5 will run from February 5th until May 30th, at which point the game will go offline and will be delisted from the PlayStation Store, Microsoft Store, Steam, and Epic Games Store. Quote, all online features will continue to be available until Season 5 concludes on May 30th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the statement reads. At that point, there will be an option to play MultiVersus offline via the local gameplay mode, either solo against AI opponents or with up to 3 friends. To do this, you'll need to install/download the latest version of the game and log in during Season 5 anytime between February 4th at 9 a.m. and May 30th at 9 a.m. After logging in, a local save file will automatically be created, connecting your PlayStation Network, Microsoft, Steam, or Epic account, allowing you to enjoy the game offline with all earned and purchased content moving forward. Real money transactions are no longer available in the game as of today, but players with remaining Gleamium currency and character tokens can continue to spend them on in-game content until the game goes offline on May 30th. Players will not be refunded for any Gleamium or other content purchased with real money. This decision was not made lightly, a message on the game's FAQ page reads. Quote, all of us on the Player First Games and Warner Brothers Games teams have put our heart and soul into MultiVersus, creating a unique, social, and cooperative experience from the ground up that brings together a variety of popular characters and worlds. We're very proud of the game we have built and are incredibly thankful for the support of the MultiVersus community throughout this journey. Your passion and enthusiasm have been unmatched. End quote. Gary, MultiVersus has come to an end.
We were saying during the break when we were looking at this story that, it does seem like there's been a lot of these big, high-profile, I guess, I don't know if, MultiVersus ran for a bit. I guess ultimately you do have to call it a failure if it couldn't sustain itself.
1000%.
There's been a lot of these, right? Concord, Rumbleverse went down not long ago. Fucking...
Knockout City, I think, went
Knockout
down.
City, that was literally the one that was on the tip of my tongue. Knockout City. Yep. Now this. Still far more failures in this live service space than successes, right? You can point to Helldivers and Destiny and the games that continue to tick along seemingly somewhat healthily, and these ones that even with major corporations and like so much IP, it's almost silly, behind them, right? And a couple of things. Yes, it's sad to see it. It's always sad to see a game fail, right? We much rather see games be good and succeed. MultiVersus is one that I kind of like, I don't know. When I first saw it, I was like, first of all, it's a little bit disgraceful, the extent to which you've ripped off Smash Brothers. Like, do you say Smash Bros or Smash Brothers?
I interchange. Smash Bros, probably.
I think Smash Bros is cool.
Yeah, Smash Bros
So let's
is
go with
quicker.
Smash Bros. It's like, I mean, the degree to which you ripped off Smash Bros is almost like insulting, but then like mashing together, it's just the thing, right? It's IP, people love IP. Look at Space Jam 2. Everybody wants to see all these IP characters. Like, apparently not. So, like, I get it in Smash Bros, where it all comes from like a very specific kind of subculture of video games. So, like, I get why Star Fox is fighting Luigi. Right, I get why Richter Belmont is fighting Sephiroth.
You don't get why
But,
LeBron
like,
James is fighting Bugs Bunny?
why is Batman fighting the fucking Rugrats or whatever? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that doesn't make it. It's silly. And the only common factor is, well, they all come from the Warner Brothers Discovery Corporation. Like, who gives a fuck about that?
Yeah, 1,000%. Like, you are so spot on, Gary. Like, if I open,
See, and you didn't want me on the show, blessing.
Yeah,
Here
like,
I am.
That is the most spot on way to put it. Of you open up the MultiVersus character select screen, and it makes zero sense. Granted, like I think Smash Bros, I think has gotten to a place where you do look at some of those characters and go, oh man, I can't believe Joker from Persona 5 is hanging out with this guy from SNK. But at the very least, they're all video game characters.
Right.
And this is a celebration of classic video games.
Marvel Rivals is the same, right? Absolutely. The extent to which that is a ripoff of Overwatch is staggering.
Yeah.
Right? But they've obviously executed on it very well. And those are all characters from the Marvel universe. So like Rocket Raccoon fighting Blackwell. I mean, they already did this in Civil War. These Marvel characters, they're meant to fight each other. That's the whole fucking point, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But like just grabbing together, we own that. We own Jake from State Farm. Let's throw
put
him in there. Have him fight
Yeah.
fucking Deputy Dog. Like what?
We own Game of Thrones. Put Arya Stark in there.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't that far away from Zendaya from Euphoria being put in there as a character, and like her left special
Don't
being
think
she
for a
has
second
drugs.
they wouldn't have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you would have gotten the character some Succession in that thing. Like the rhyme or reason to why MultiVersus can work on that side of things, on the crossover side of things, didn't make sense. Like, cool, yeah, it's novel to see LeBron and Shaggy from Scooby-Doo like fight, but like it's weird also. And then like you're not speaking to an audience in the way that even if I'm gonna veer outside of Smash Bros, I look at something like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and at the very least, I get excited about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl because guess what? Growing up, I watched a fuck ton of Nickelodeon.
Right. And again, it makes sense at least that they would all be together.
It makes sense that
when
they
it's
would all
like
be together.
Nintendo in the world of video games, or Marvel, which is obviously its own self-contained universe already, or like I said, even the world of Nickelodeon, right, where these feels like there's a commonality.
There's a
between them all.
commonality,
but like
yeah.
when the only thing that is bringing them together is your fucking mergers and acquisitions over the years have created such a multi-hydra-headed company that you just own all this shit, and you think you can just throw it all into one thing and that will have any kind of coherence.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
My other thing on the other side of this, talking about the gameplay side, I think the one thing when it comes to Smash clones that I think all these companies underrate is just how good Smash Brothers plays. None of these games have come even remotely close.
That's the thing, is like, why play anything else when you can just play
fun.
Smash Bros?
Smash Bros
Like,
is
what,
so
except
high
no
quality.
imitations.
You know, like
Right?
and I think that's the big flaw, right? I think you're spot on as far as the crossover aspect, but the gameplay aspect has never lived up to Smash Brothers.
It's why I've never, and I'm sure there are some out there that I would have enjoyed if I played. It's why I've never bothered to even like try and play another kart racer. I'm like, why would I play this when I could just be playing Mario Kart?
1,000%.
Yeah.
So, RIP MultiVersus though. Like I had fun with it for the first like few months of it being out, and I wish they were able to sustain that. But yeah, like I think it's another one of Smash clones are tough to do when Smash Brothers already exists.
Well,
So,
hopefully the developers, will end up in a good place. And I don't know if there are layoffs involved in this or whatever. Again, it's always sad to see this happen. But in this particular case, it's not. It's maybe not difficult to understand why it happened. It's another case of like corporations just not understanding what people want. and like throwing something at them that they think makes sense to them, but like doesn't make sense to to players, to fans.
Well, we'll see what happens with the reported PlayStation Smash MOBA that they're working on over there.
Oh, are they working on one?
There was
MOBA?
an article about something
Like
called
PlayStation
Project
All
Gummy
Stars is
Bears.
coming back.
I don't think it's going to be All Stars. Like I think
But,
it's going to be
that
just
was
random.
that was their version of doing it. Right?
Yeah,
back
that
in
was
the
their
day.
version. This seems like it's some just different thing. Like it seems like it's again in the same thing of we're trying to make these online games and trying to make these live service things. Let's try to make a MOBA Smash thing called Project Gummy Bears that maybe Bungie was working on before. Like who knows? But
Well, we'll see.
we'll see.
This is an industry that is not much like my industry. It's not an industry that is particularly good at taking the correct lessons from both success and failure.
Story number 4. Can this one be a success? Clair Obscur Expedition 33 live action film is in the works from Story Kitchen and Sandfall Interactive. This is Joe Otterson at Variety. A live action film adaptation of the video game Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is in the works before the game even launches. Variety has learned exclusively that game developer Sandfall Interactive is teaming with Story Kitchen to develop a film version of the game, which will be published by Kepler Interactive. The game is due to be released on April 24th on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Steam, and Epic. It was recently showcased on Xbox Developer Direct and was featured on DualShock's top 10 most anticipated indie games of 2025, as well as the cover of PC Gamer and Edge magazine. Quote, "We're thrilled to collaborate with Sandfall Interactive to bring the rich, immersive world of Expedition 33 to the big screen," said Story Kitchen founders Dimitri M. Johnson and Mike Goldberg. The game's compelling narrative and complex characters provide a solid foundation for a cinematic experience that will resonate with both gamers and moviegoers alike. End quote. Gary, Expedition 33, you're familiar, correct?
Well, it's interesting that this should come up today because last night I took an edible and I was watching YouTube videos, and I was like, "Oh, I should watch," because I hadn't gotten around to watching any of the developer direct stuff. So I went onto the Xbox YouTube channel, I was watching a bunch of trailers, and this one caught my eye. I actually ended up watching the whole thing. It's like a 4-minute trailer. I watched the whole thing, thinking this is really interesting. Like it's a big original universe, right? It's a big swing. You said it's an independent game, but it looks kind of AAA to me, right? At least double A. Like it looks like they spent money on it. Big cinematics, big story. The combat looks really interesting. I like how when they actually get into the combat, you'll see it at some point, I imagine, like the numbers are popping off, like almost like in a turn-based. You know, your damage numbers are popping off.
I mean, it's a JRPG that's like developed by a Western
This looks kind of cool, right?
It looks super cool.
I would play this.
Oh.
This went from like a game I'd never even heard of to like, shit, maybe I should check. It's going to be on Game Pass.
Everybody at
I'll
Kind of
fucking
Funny.
check this out.
Everybody at Kind of Funny is super jazzed about this.
Yeah,
game.
I
Like,
thought it was just
everybody's looking forward to
This
this.
has that kind of like, where'd this come from kind of vibe, you
Now,
know?
I wonder.
So, I think this game could be good.
Do you think this movie could be good, like an adaptation?
I mean, it's too early. It's too early to say. I don't know anything about it. I know the people. I know the Story Kitchen people. They're good people, and they do this a lot. You know, they snatch up games like sometimes even before they're released and say we're going to have plans to make this into a movie or whatever. Whether it actually will come to pass, who knows? But right now I'm just talking about the game. Like I think this looks like a cool game.
Yeah. No, I'm 1000% with you. And like, I think the thing that really sold me, because I was already in based on the combat. Also, Charlie Cox.
Yeah, they got some Andy Serkis. Like, they got some names in here.
Yeah. But based on the reveal that we got
Ben
last
Starr,
year,
my buddy Ben Starr.
I mean, the homie, right? But seeing the turn-based combat, oh man, this looks cool, looks stylish. I love seeing the art. But then during the Xbox Developer Direct, where they talked about the premise of it, of like every periodically there'll be a force that would write down a number, and everybody over that age like disappears, like Thanos snap style. Like
right.
That is such a cool concept, and I love how that feeds back into the name and I don't know, that seems like such a fun idea. So I could see from that, like being pitched that and going, let's turn that into a film. I'm still of the mind of like, I don't know, we are thrilled to collaborate with Sandfall Interactive to bring the rich, immersive world of Expedition 33 to the big screen. Do we know how rich and immersive it is? The game isn't even out yet.
So a couple of things. I'm coming at this from like my day job point of view now. Yeah. On the one hand, I would say, and again, I like the Story Kitchen people. Their hearts are in the right place. They really want to make good things, and they all have good backgrounds. And they know what they're doing. They're not a bunch of amateurs. They've done good stuff already. I would say the fact that they've taken an interest in this before there's even any commercial story to tell. Right? Oh, this game is a massive hit, right? Because it's not out yet. Tells you that it's at least a combination of creatively, this is a good foundation for a movie. They've obviously seen more of the game that we have, right? Having been able to make a deal on it. And they at least think it has the potential to be commercially successful. But I tell you right now, if the game comes out and flops, the movie ain't going to happen either, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think they're necessarily. I don't know why you necessarily announce it this early. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. But I mean, right now I'm still on. Like, I didn't even know this game existed 24 hours ago, and I was catching up on those Xbox Directs. And there were two that popped at me. One is this game called Roadcraft. Did you see that, where you're like operating like construction equipment and
No,
stuff?
I didn't see that
Just
one.
incredibly involved. I was like, how the fuck have they even made this? Like, because I was stoned. I'm like, man, how the fuck are they making this into a game? Like, it's so involved. And then this one, I was like, the more I was watching the trailer, the more I was like, man, this looks really interesting. I was increasingly getting it. By then, I was like, man, I got to get that fucking game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be any good, but the trailer totally sold me. And here's Roadcraft. Well done, Kevin. Like, you're basically driving like heavy construction equipment in like disaster zones, you know, where like cities and bridges and things need to be rebuilt. You go in and reconstruct, and it's like you run this whole construction company and you're operating these heavy machines, not just trucks, but like, you know, major big fucking like digging machines. And I don't know, this just seems kind of cool.
I love what video games have become.
Look at this.
Because there's a game for everything now.
Yeah, we got, you know, I think this has elements of a lot of those simulator kind of games, and there's like snow, all terrain, you know, driving big trucks in the snow type games.
Yeah.
And those are really cool. But like, this has got like a business. The more this trailer goes on, this is another one. Was like, what, really? This as well? Like, there's like, you know, you run the business and like logistics and supply chain. It's fucking mad. I'm fascinated to know how they've made all of this work within like a coherent game design. But I just this looks really interesting to me. Look at this shit.
Yeah, this actually looks pretty
Right?
cool.
Look, you're like this big fucking tree thing. The fuck is that? Big digger? Right?
I love this.
Look at this. Pushing big rocks around.
This looks fucking awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just discovered this last night just because I was going through the Xbox trailers.
Hell yeah.
Anyway,
Get on a stream with
so
Mike. Play this. Play
this
on
and
stream.
Expedition 33 were the two trailers that popped off for me when I was watching them last night.
Expedition 33, I do think is going to be one of the special games of the year, though. Like, I think
Yeah,
that's going to be
right.
one that does stick
What
out.
do we know about the developer?
Nothing. They're new. Like, they're a brand new developer. They're based in.
I'm rooting for it.
I believe they're based in France in like a cool, like, what was it, a castle?
We complain. we complain all the time about how there aren't enough original like big swings out there. This is an original big swing.
1000%.
So let's root for it.
I do hope for the best for the movie. It's just one of those things where, you know, I'm on Games Daily often, and it feels like every time I'm on Games Daily, there's always a new movie announcement of like, we're adapting this, we're adapting that, we're adapting Sleeping Dogs, we're adapting Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, and maybe 1 in 20 of them will actually
Be good.
come to pass.
Yeah.
Would you play this?
Me personally, no.
No.
But it's not my kind of game, but I do think it looks cool. I can
Right?
see the appeal.
From a game design, I mean, look at all this stuff. Like, you plot your routes. It's like I said, supply chain, logistics. Look at all this. It's like, how is all this in one game?
Do you know
And
what
it's
it is
all
for me?
presumably playable on a controller, right? Because it's an Xbox game,
Because I think the problem for me is that this game seems like a job.
right?
It seems like one of those
but
ones.
to a lot of people, that's really appealing. They love that.
Yeah.
You
And that's
also
the thing.
just
Job
stop.
simulators are everywhere. What did you say, Kevin?
I was saying you can also just walk away at any point, though. You know?
Yeah, but why would I start? Like,
What about you, Kevin?
This
Would
is
you
not
play
a
this?
fantasy
Oh,
for me.
100%.
I feel like this would be a good one to stream when it comes out.
100. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Mike.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll drive some big diggers.
My thing is, here's the thing, right? Make a pizza delivery game. That is a pizza delivery simulator. I'm there. Because that'll.
I bet you
There's
that
no way there
exists.
isn't one. Go on Steam right now. There's got to
was
be
that,
like
Barrett?
10 of them.
Yeah, Barrett says I lived that life because I did deliver pizzas back when I was in
I played a
college.
game.
But that's why.
I
Because
played a
it's
game on
nostalgic for
Steam
me.
last year that was running a pizza parlor. It was fucking great. Cozy
See,
game.
that seems fun.
I think it was called Pretty Good Pizza or something like that. It was really good.
Yeah, give me like a sim game. Like, I guess, yeah, I gotta figure out what the things that I want to do are and play those sim games. Because, like, I don't really want to, like, drive trucks and
There was
stuff.
a really interesting piece in Reuters this week about how cozy games have now been shown through various studies to have a markedly positive effect on your mood, calmness, mental state. So, like, I need to play some more fucking cozy games because I'm
Man.
going to get into fucking Hello Kitty Island Adventure this weekend because, like,
Wow.
I desperately,
Yo.
I don't know if you've noticed, but my mood and my mental state is fucking trash. Like, I desperately need
Really?
some cozy games
You
to
seem
give me a
good
lift.
today.
No, he's being awful.
You're just saying that because he caught you.
Yeah, nobody
saw your
caught me
tabs.
doing
Good
anything.
pizza, great pizza. That's what the pizza
saw
game's
your
called on
tabs.
Steam. Yeah, I need to play some more cozy games.
That's good then.
I just wish listed one on Steam the other day called Tiny Garden, where you're just like watering tiny little plants. That is
There's-
like therapy for me.
Oh man, I forgot the name of it. I should have like saved the link. But like, there's one I saw yesterday where you're placing shapes into like different scenarios and like basing on like how they request. And so like the clip I saw was that I was putting people on a bus and one of the shapes was like, oh, I want to sit here like by a window, and like you kind of organize them. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, I know I sound like a madman, but let me know.
I want to play that one that Mike showed me. Was it called The Headliners? Where you're like your news crew just covering
yeah.
disasters and stuff. Maybe not cozy because that's like, you know, people
I think he was
burning
looking
to death
for
and
like
stuff.
a fourth. Actually, no, we found it because I think Kevin's playing that. But yeah, we're gonna play that soon at some point.
Yeah, this is good pizza, great pizza.
Let's talk about
a little pizza parlor. People come in, like you
Yeah,
got
but
you
you're
actually got
making
to you
pizza,
actually got to
not
make the
delivering it.
pizzas.
Yeah.
You do the toppings.
I want a realistic pizza delivery. A lot of people are saying Spider-Man 2 on PS2, which I know you deliver pizzas in, but I want to like.
Like Crazy Taxi or something like pizza delivery.
Yeah, but like more realistic. Like I want a sim. I want a
You want like
simulation.
GTA 6 level world?
Yes, I want to be driving and I want to be going 35 miles per hour down a suburban road and like get on my car and be like, "Here's your pizza," and then
They
not
should
get
have done
tipped.
at least one mission in the Spider-Man games where Peter Parker has to deliver pizzas as Peter Parker, but like the only way he's going to do it on time is if he uses his spider powers and like swing around the city delivering
Dude,
pizzas.
I guarantee you,
like
well-
have that be like a whole separate, you know, the submissions. You know,
I think that. I mean,
Fuck
you're,
chasing
you're
pigeons and
describing Spider-Man 2.
does he deliver pizzas in Spider-Man 2?
Not the new Spider-Man 2, but the one on PlayStation 2, like the old Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't play the older ones.
Yeah, you would have to swing around, but like the more you would kind of flip in the air and stuff, the more damage the
A
pizza
little
would
to the
get.
left. I mean, these are you in? Does this cozy subgenre do anything for you, Blessing? This kind of game where it's simple puzzles, living in a little town, watering your plants. You know, just
every now and then. Like Venba was, I would say, is probably kind of cozy, right? I think I like that because of the
that's definitely
narrative with
cozy.
it.
because now more than ever, you know, obviously
Yeah.
reality is such an absolute shit show that when I'm at home, like the last thing I want to do is watch like a taut political thriller or a fucking, you know, body horror movie or something. I just want to watch nice people being nice to each other and friendly.
You know
Like
what?
that's what I need.
You're right. You know what? Shout out to Portland for making all these cozy games for us. Because, like, they be just working over there, putting out all these games. Thank you, Portland. Story number 5. The opposite of cozy. Dr. Disrespect's Midnight Society is shutting down, and its FPS is canceled. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. Guy, Dr. Disrespect Beams, Midnight Society has announced it's shutting down, and its debut shooter, Dead Drop, is canceled 6 months after it split from the streamer. In an announcement published on its social media channels, the studio, which is co-founded by Beam, Call of Duty veteran Robert Bowling, and Halo designer Quinn Del Hoyo, called for studios to help its remaining employees find new work. Quote, "We express our sincere gratitude to each and every one of our community members and are deeply sorry we were unable to reach our ultimate goal," the statement reads. Midnight Society had been working on its debut game, Dead Drop, a free-to-play first-person vertical extraction shooter set in a dark and violent future where the 80s never ended for the past 3 years. The game had planned to incorporate NFTs and had released multiple playable demos to community members, which it called snapshots. I mean,
Well,
who
that's
could have seen this coming?
That's a shame.
Who could have seen this coming?
You hate to see it, don't you? Well,
Do you?
no, we love to see it. We love
Do
to
you
see
hate
it.
to see it? Like, here's the thing. I feel bad about the developers who are losing their jobs.
Yes.
Those are the people who I feel for, because
Yes.
that does suck to like be like, cool, I got a job working in video games. I get to develop a game that's upcoming that is doing different things that like, I don't know, like I want to make it FPS. Maybe this is a stepping stone. There's just so many reasons why you might be working at any studio, and it always sucks to lose your job. This shit though was doomed from the very start.
Yeah,
From
I
the
mean-
very start, it was doomed.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there was a clear inflection point at which point there was no turning back, right? But like, I'll tell you the truth. 10 years ago, when I was into PUBG and I started watching Twitch because I was so into PUBG, I wanted to watch PUBG streams. I never really got into streaming before. I used to watch a lot of Dr. Disrespect. So I'm going back to like more than 10 years ago when he was on Twitch. And I remember thinking, man, this guy is really interesting. Like, no one else is doing what he's doing in terms of production values and the green screen stuff and committing to a character. Like, it was just a really interesting approach. And I understood why he was often funny, and I understand why he was so successful. But then, like, there was always a vibe of like, I don't know, is there something off about this guy? Like, I don't know, every now and again, there's something a little bit toxic that slips in, and it got worse over time.
He's
and
recording
eventually-
in bathrooms for some reason.
yeah, and then it got worse and worse. And after I stopped watching, it got worse. It got worse and worse. And then obviously the revelations came out. I've seen it a couple of times. It's a very popular TikTok now. Like the clip from his stream where he gets the text that tells him like, it's fucking over, dude. Like they got you, stone cold busted. You know, talking to a minor inappropriately in your Twitch whispers. And from that point, you know, you don't come back from that, nor should you. right?
I mean,
and at that point, from that moment, this announcement has just been, a countdown to this announcement.
but do you know what pisses me off is that you do come back from that, like, because it's not him that's suffering from this. Like, he already split from the studio.
Well, so where is he now, though?
I think he's streaming.
Is he still on YouTube?
I'm pretty
or
sure.
Did he go to Kick?
And chat, this might be a question for chat, because I'm pretty sure I saw a news story in the last 2 days that he got remonetized. And I'm sure he's probably back on. He's on Rumble.
So they remonetized him.
He went to Rumble.
Went to Rumble, which is the fucking
I don't know what Rumble is.
So there's like Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you get kicked off of those,
you go to Kick.
To Kick. Yeah. And then when you get kicked off of Kick, you go to Rumble.
No, there's a layer of hell lower than Kick.
I got an email. I got an email the other day from someone at Rumble, like a partnership person, saying, "Hey, do you want to come stream on Rumble?" And I wrote him back a long email saying no, and here's why.
Now Barrett in the background said he's streaming right now on YouTube, so I think maybe the story was that his YouTube got remonetized. Here we go. This is from Kotaku.
So this is from yesterday, just yesterday.
Yeah, YouTube turns money faucet back on.
So
for
6 months after being exposed for having, wildly inappropriate conversations with an underage person, you basically do 6 months in social media jail, but then you're back making money.
This is what me and Greg, when this the story first kicked off of Dr. Disrespect stuff coming out, right? And like I forget what the news story was, but me and Greg are having a long, prolonged conversation about Dr. Disrespect. And one of the things I mentioned was that he's going to go away for maybe a month or two and then come back to the biggest views, like the biggest streaming numbers you've ever seen.
I don't know if that's been the case.
Exactly what happens.
I mean, he has paid a lot of sponsorships and things like that. And like, he's never going to be invited to, like the big event, like he's never going to be on like a stage at like TwitchCon or whatever ever again. Like that stuff's, just never, it's like, because it's his ick factor, right?
Yeah.
But again, go next time he streams on YouTube or whatever. Go look at his numbers. I'm sure his numbers are still pretty good because there's always going to be enough people that just don't care.
And that's the problem, right? And like, here's the thing: Dr. Disrespect. When you want to talk about the saga, you're talking about, okay, cool, he doesn't get invited back to TwitchCon. Okay, cool, the studio, he cut ties with a studio that was making a game that he probably like checked in on once every like 60 days or something.
Yeah, and sponsorships in general will probably be harder to come by.
Sponsorships might be harder to come by.
Straight ad revenue and numbers.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll take that
but
much
like
of a hit.
It's a drop in the bucket for him, right? Of like the shit that he's probably lost off of this social reputation, but he's still out here killing it in numbers. I'm pretty sure.
Didn't he also get paid out for like was it Twitch that had a contract with him where they just like?
Oh yeah, I think maybe they paid out because they wanted to get rid of him.
Well, yeah, because they broke what they discovered was so heinous that they decided that we just got to pay the money and get him off.
Yeah.
So I think there was a certain if you break your contract, then there's a
and it wasn't until
usually some kind of penalty you got to pay, right?
I didn't. Yeah. I don't. But like then there was the former Twitch person that had left Twitch that was like, hey, you know what? I'll tell you guys the allegations.
Yeah.
Because it was like years of him.
And the problem is there's no accountability, right? Like who is the person at YouTube who decided, let's remonetize him? Six months is long enough. He had deeply inappropriate conversations online with a minor. About 6 months.
The thing, Gary.
Where is that person? What is their name? And why don't they have to answer any questions about why this decision was made? There's no accountability.
Because everybody's doing this right now, right? Trump has been president for a week, and guess what?
Well, that's the thing.
Everybody's throwing DEI out the window.
Don't even get me started, yeah, but we are just generally clearly moving.
Everybody's like, you know what? At the same time, all these companies, and not that they had morals before, but even more so than before, everybody's like, fuck morals. We can do whatever we want. Trump's president.
I don't want to get down a Trump rabbit hole. Everyone's heard enough about that recently, and rightly so, because it is a disgrace. But like I read an article yesterday, and you can apply this to anything now, because we do live in a post-accountability world where like Trump's basic legal strategy now is just, well, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
1,000%.
Nothing? That's what I thought. Yeah, exactly. So now everyone gets to say that. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And that's give a fucking Nazi salute. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. What consequences has there been? A bunch of subreddits banned him. Who fucking cares?
1,000%. Right? Again, the thing that pisses me off the most about this is that Dr. Disrespect, slap on the wrist. When you look at these things, right? Cool, studio closed, cool, might not get sponsored. Who the fuck cares?
The higher you go on the ladder, the less you have to worry about accountability.
Yes, and he doesn't have to worry about accountability, but you know who's affected by all these shitty things? The people that worked at the studio.
All the other people that get caught up in it.
All the people that partner with him, all the people that worked with him, they have to fucking suffer the consequences of his actions while he goes on, continues to stream to incredible numbers.
Yeah, same with Trump, same with all of them.
Gary. big things happen. Big things we just talked about. And we can talk about it forever. But sadly, we don't have the time because Tim has to go play some of that Jedi Power Battles. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news we need to know about, where can I go?
You'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
That's right. Story number 6, Wii News. We can't hear the music, but I assume the audience can hear the music, Kevin.
I don't know. I wouldn't assume anything with Kevin.
All right, everyone calm down.
Well,
We know
make
there
sure
was
they're not hearing your
technical
tab.
They can hear the music. Why we can't hear it, I'm not sure yet. I fucking hate all of you.
I mean, everybody in chat is saying they cannot hear the music.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wii News for you. This comes from Division on. We just move on here. We just keep going. At the Division game tweeted out, "Agents, we are heading back to New York. The Battle for Brooklyn DLC will be launching this year. Here's a sneak peek for your eyes only." And they post a screenshot of the key art for Battle for Brooklyn. From IGN, EA and Maxis are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Sims franchise with a truly excellent surprise. Today, both The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 are available on PC once again via 2 legacy collections and the Sims 25th birthday bundle.
Interesting. Are they polished up at all, or are they just like as is?
That's a good question. I don't know. I can check on the IGN article. This was a full news story, but until I realized that it was going to be me and you and not me and Mike, because Mike was like the Sims #1 fan. I do know that the Sims haven't been around for a while.
No. I mean,
so-
is there ever going to be a Sims 5?
I mean, I think last
I mean,
we've
they
heard
make so
no.
much money just selling those Sims 4 packs, right? I mean, there's another one. It's like just keep
I think they
doing what
came
you're
out
doing.
and said we're just going to keep making Sims 4. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to make Sims 5 is what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the IGN article open. Both games include all expansions. It looks like there's some new bonus content, which is exciting.
God, when the Sims first came out, man. That's
don't-
probably before your time.
Yeah, I don't see
Were you
anything here
born when
about.
the Sims came out?
When did it come out?
Would have been around 97, 98.
Oh yeah, I was born.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in '94.
Oh, yeah, I was born.
I was alive.
existed.
I was on this earth. From VGC, Ridge Racer 64 is the latest game to be added to Nintendo 64 collection on Switch Online.
Ridge Racer!
Which that is awesome. Good for them. Like that's one that that's one I don't think about often is Ridge Racer 64. Barrett's coming on because Barrett's sad about.
What you sad about, Barrett?
We know what it is.
When will it be my time? Give me Donkey Kong 64. What the fuck?
We got Ridge Racer. We can race, Barrett.
Did the new...
I'm glad Mike Minotti's happy. Give me what I want.
We can race.
Did Donkey Kong's Returns not do anything for you, Barrett? It seemed like
No,
a pretty good...
64 is its own thing, man. 64 is different. It's not. It's its own standalone, just bespoke game.
I don't get people that are into Donkey Kong.
Because here's the thing, right? Because he's an ape, but like he collects letters and bananas, and like he dances sometimes. It's cool.
I don't get
It's
it.
cool.
I don't get it.
Start.gg is an independent company again and no longer owned by Microsoft. If you play in fighting game tournaments, you know what Start.gg is. And then lastly, Killing Floor 3 launches March 25th on Xbox, PS5, and PC. And that is it for Wii News.
Good shit.
Good shit. Before we get out of here, let me check the super chats real quick. Lorenzo Flores says, "Bless, what's the name of that J. Cole podcast about 2014 Forest Hills Drive that you mentioned a while ago?" Oh man, you were asking me weeks too late because I've already forgotten the website. If you look up J. Cole podcast, you'll find it on Google. It's like a premium thing. You have to pay money for it, but it's like inevitable.live is the link. Inevitable.live if you want to find it.
Any other super chats roasting Kevin for his browser tab selections?
Oh, let me see. I mean, there's one from Nathan Garcia that got retracted. So that could only
Shut
be.
off his mic. He's not talking anymore. Gary, you're done.
Let me see. Yeah, nothing more about Kevin. I think everybody got that energy out. Yeah, you gotta be nice to Kevin after a while.
Chad, he's not saying anything important. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're muted, Kevin, or you're muted, Gary. Michael Stevenson says, "Bless, please tell
Jesus Christ.
please tell Gary Tesco Club Card is a joke." I don't know what that means.
It's like Tesco is a popular supermarket chain in the UK, and it's like a loyalty card. You know, you get rewards and get free shit. I don't know why that was worth spending money on, but you know, it's a free country. Barely.
Dean says the weird unrelease of MultiVersus did so much damage. The game had a community in the beta, but no one bothered to pick it up on re-release. Here's my thing: is that it had a community in the first month or so, but if you looked at the numbers, by the time like the game launched in its beta, quote unquote beta, in like August, and then by the time you get to November had such low numbers. Like it was. I remember reading a news story from VGC about how low the MultiVersus numbers were. So I think it was already the writing was already on the wall. You know, I don't think it unreleasing even mattered that much to it. It was already on the wall. Did I miss something? What was going on?
He's muted me, so I'm just doing obscene gestures.
You're not muted anymore.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. We got to get out of here. We got to move. It's 20 minutes past the show.
You got this one on your browser tab?
Let me open up You're Wrong to let us know. You can let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong. Banner SN says The Sims came out in 2000. Gary, I was 6 years old in 2000.
Holy shit. Wait, The Sims came out in 2000?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense because I reviewed The Sims for PC Gamer, but I was off PC Gamer by that. Is that right? It must have been at the very, very end of my tenure on PC Gamer.
Did you review? Was it SimCity? Because didn't SimCity?
No, the original, the Sims.
The
I remember 'cause I
Sims?
gave it like a massive score. I was obsessed with that game.
2000.
February 4th, 2000. I must have reviewed it because I was on PC Gamer up until the. Yeah, okay. Wow, that must have been one of the very last games that I ever reviewed at PC Gamer. Okay.
Banner SN says Bless is thinking of Is This Seat Taken? That is the game that I was describing with the shapes and shit is called Is This Seat Taken?
Okay, all right.
Robbie Rob says Blessing stated that Half-Life 3 doesn't exist because they didn't need the money, but in the Half-Life 2 documentary, it was because they didn't know what they could make that would be fun. I see. Fun, innovative, and meet the hype that was captured after Half-Life 2 Episode 2. There have been multiple attempts, but most didn't get traction.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Another company that would have not been an impediment to making and shipping a game.
Yeah, I mean,
right? But Valve, they're like, well, if we can't solve that problem, we're just not going to do it.
But also, I would say if Valve never made Steam, guess what? You would have got Half-Life 3.
Yeah, I think that's...
You would have 1,000% gotten Half-Life 3.
True, yeah.
I think just because they say one thing doesn't mean that the other thing's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Get Cupid or Get Up Kid says not a correction. Not a correction, but a missed news from the other day. MLB 25 will be skipping Game Pass this year. That was not missed news. We said that. That was like, it was a Wii news. I just didn't find it to be that big of a deal.
It's not that big. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. What? Games don't come to Game Pass all the time.
That's right.
Actually, I think we did. I talked about this with Mike off camera. That's what happened. Me and Mike had a big old conversation about it. But yeah, MLB The Show is not going to be on Game Pass. All right, that's it.
That's
the end of the show.
end. We went over, but that was because Kevin fucked it up at the start.
Yeah, it's because he has all those tabs.
All those tabs, man. I'm seriously, keep it at home.
Keep it at home. You know, I've been there, Kevin.
Nobody wants to see that.
I've been there, Kevin. I'm at work. I got the temptation, but I'm like, no, I won't. I'll keep it. I'll keep the temptation inside until I get home.
Oh,
Kevin.
no, step bro, the lights have gone out.
Oh, no, the lights.
Now what are we going to do?
What are we going to do? It's all dark. It's just the two of us.
God, I'm trying to fix a problem, and I make... God, let's go. Let's go. This is over. We don't have to keep going.
Of course, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the GamesCast next and Game Showdown after and the stream after that. But until next time, Game Daily.